Morning. What's up, people? Let's get up, people. It's Monday. It is Monday. Today is the 8th day of September. Year's 2025, people. Let's get up. Let's get started. Let's get motivated. Let's get moving. Once again, it's me, Oloropo. We're going to do this walk and talk. You know, we're here to motivate. We're here to move. This morning, we're going to talk about and discuss your mind, the need to protect it, how to protect it, why it's important for your growth and development, people. We all have this capacity to think and to grow. But in order for us to do it, we're going to have to take time to actually mind our mind. And you have to do it now before it's too late, because it is really easy for us to find ourselves in situations where we no longer believe in control of our reality, of our circumstances. So this morning, we're going to talk about how to mind your mind and how to mind your mind. So good morning, people. As always, when you check in, make sure you check in with your, let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know what time of day it is where you are. Also, share with me anything that you have on your mind, any thoughts. Let's have this walk. Remember, your capability and your strength starts with your belief in your capability and strength. Do not allow for yourself to tear yourself down. Do not destroy your own path, your journey. Do not be your biggest enemy. Start with belief, maintain with resilience. Once again, people, it is on 5:32 in the morning. Welcome in. How are you doing? Sorry, I do not read Arabic, but thank you for joining and being a part of the live. Everyone, my name is Oloropo. I'm here on the East Coast of the United States, coming to you live from Maryland. It is Monday morning, September the 8th here. Let's get up, let's get motivated, let's get started. Mr. Tahoe, let's go, Mr. Tahoe. How you doing? Good morning, man. We're talking this morning about minding your mind. We're talking this morning about protecting your brain, your thoughts, your understanding. I'm up here on this hill, give you guys a little look at what I see when I get up here every morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Look at that moon this morning, people. Look at that beautiful moon. Oh, it's wonderful, people. September the 8th, Monday. Let's be great today, people. Let's be great today, as we strive to do every day. 10KO, thank you very much. RKS, welcome in, man. Good morning, Ryan, how are you doing? 10:33, category 4, ready to hit the islands. Oh man, it's that time of year, isn't it? September? Man, you bunkered down, man? You somewhere safe, RKS? You be safe out there, man. That's a pretty high category. I think it's only 5 categories, right? That's category 4, that's really near the top. Good night, sir, thank you. Other Arabic words in the image translate to, one, my brother, to casual way of addressing someone, like, oh my son, or a casual. Mr. Tahoe, thank you very much. Sir, one, my brother, good morning, thank you. Thank you for being here. Falcon, what's up? Welcome in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good to see you all. Thank you for being here this morning. Today's walk and talk is about minding your mind. It's about the importance of protecting your thoughts. Now, I want to start by saying this, people. Thoughts are not actions. They're not decisions, but they do matter. And the deer are out deep tonight. So if y'all hear me scream, it may be because I am under attack. Y'all know I live up here in these freaking mountains. You see those deer down there? Y'all didn't see them. Y'all better call somebody if I get taken down by a deer. Don't let no. Man, if y'all don't say nothing and one of these deer take me down, use Grok. That's cool, Mr. Falcon says, you're a holy man. Thank you very much, Falcon. Am I like a priest? No, sir. Is that O-Block? No, not O-Block. They're drone deer. Right, and birds aren't real. So here's the thing, guys. Usually they hide in this little section down here. And I'm gonna turn my camera around so you guys can see. I'm gonna run them out of there before I get there. I don't wanna get run over. Woo! See it? Wow. Woo! Gotta make some noise, man. If y'all see me start running, y'all better run too. Don't let. Woo! All right, they might have went up the hill already. So, there it is. Daggone it. Y'all be, man, I ain't even wanna run this morning. Y'all. Oh man, so, as I was saying, people, your mind, your thoughts, you're protecting it. Super important, guys. Here's how it's important, why it's important, and what we need to do about it, right? So, the drone DRK says, we got you. Good morning, 10KO. Do you have wildlife out there? Deer, man. Deer, big deer. I need to figure out what the hunting season is around here. These things, you don't know that they big until, you drive past them, you're like, ah, man, it's a deer. You see them in the road or something done hit them, you be like, oh, that's bad. Then you start walking up on one, you be like, yo, you all right? Like, you're pretty big, man. You're pretty big. We have moose, and they are crazy. Not trying to deal with no moose. I see the moose beat up a Honda. Why? Like, why are you in a fight with a Honda? Like, don't be scared of no deer. Moose, yeah, but deer, not so much. All right. Okay, let me fix my deer fear so I'm not afraid of deer. So, Thoughts are not actions, man. Thoughts are very, they're very challenging and they're very strange because of where they are in the line of behaviors, in the structure of life. Because I always say that because thoughts aren't actions, that you can't count on your thoughts to get you anywhere, right? A thought leads to a choice. A choice should lead to a decision because you could choose something, but until you take action to achieve that something that you're thinking about and you're choosing, it's fruitless, it's powerless, right? The thought and the choice, as powerful as they both are, until you make a decision and take action, then they're both pointless, right? They are given power by the behaviors and the actions that we choose to take. However, thoughts are super powerful in structuring the environment in which we will make our choices and take on our actions. So, as powerless as thoughts are, they are literally the beginning of everything else. Because if you think something is impossible, it already is. It does not matter how much you choose to try it. It doesn't matter how much you choose to go after it. If you think it's impossible, if your thoughts are against that thing, it won't be successful. We have to be careful with our thoughts. And a lot of times, our thoughts aren't even controlled by us. They are thoughts that we take from others. Mr. Tahoe says, like how Les Brown became a speaker by speaking and getting the job as a janitor at a radio station and had the opportunity and did it. Exactly. More Lazarus, morning chat, good morning. Like manifestations, think then speak it. True, and then do it. 10KO, true. So you think it, you speak it, you do it. It's important. Here's why it's important. Number one reason why this is important. First thing on this list, why this is important, is because, like I said, everything grows from there, right? You have to commit yourself to the belief of something. As Myron Golden says, you will never try your hardest, you will never work at your best or give considerable effort to becoming something that you do not believe in or that you hate. If there is something that you don't believe in or something that you have hatred towards, you are not going to invest your time in trying to become that thing, achieve that thing, or do that thing. Which is why so many people find themselves out here talking about things, thinking about things, discussing things, but not doing things because that thought about that thing has an underlying thought about your belief system and your structure. And it's usually about ourselves, which is important. We have to protect our mind and our thoughts about what we say we believe, who we say we are, the things we think about, the things we say we'll do, and how we go about doing it. So, this first part is going to be very simple. You have to filter what you allow into your thought space, right? So what does that mean? Well, everything, your brain is a sponge, right? The mind is a sponge, which is why you can hear a conversation on the other side of the room while you're talking, and you'll be like, what did I just hear? Because You have the ability to take in all of this information. As someone said, all of your senses are designed to receive information, right? Every sense you have is designed to receive information. You do not have a single sense. None of your senses are designed to convey information. They're all designed to receive. Now, you have the ability to convey information, but if the other person does not possess the sense to receive it, you can't communicate it. All right? This is important, people. None of your senses, none of them, this is important because it starts with us. None of your senses are designed to convey information to other people. We are not built to convey. We are built to take in and build, right? We are receivers, and we have to be careful of what we receive. We have to be careful of what we take in, what we listen to, right? What we watch, what we listen to, what we touch, what we taste, right? You have to be careful because all of these things shape your thoughts. And we convey when other people have the ability to feel. If someone can't feel, you tapping their shoulder means nothing. If someone can't see you waving your hand to say hi, means nothing. If someone can't hear you yelling to say, hey, watch out, means nothing. So if we have these abilities to receive, we have this ability to receive information, we must be careful about the positions and the environments and the information that we take in. Because we will walk around the world, we'll walk around in our life, and we'll take in bits of information from here or there, and then we'll start to process them. One, wasting resources. Wasting resources, because as I said, I say this quite often, guys. You need to prepare for anything, not everything. Because along your journey to your destination, anything can happen. And we need to be prepared for any of those things that are on our path for our journey. However, around you, everything is always happening. But not everything is on your path. They are distractions, and you need to be able to stay focused on your goal. That's point number 2. Distractions. Because our thoughts, when they're focused on the things that's important, and oftentimes people get it confused because they believe what I'm saying is, oh, you have to always be serious. You have to always be thinking about something deep and difficult. No, if your focus, if what you're doing right now is spending time with your children and you're sitting down enjoying this moment with your children, that's where your thoughts should be. That's where your behaviors in your mind should be. That's where your investment is. If you find yourself in this period where you're supposed to be thinking about your children and you're thinking about work, it's a distraction. Because that thing that should be getting your energy and your time and your investment is not. No, we don't always have to be super serious. Life is designed for us to live, not just be alive. But our thoughts, the way we think and how we think is important. One of the biggest things is self-destructive thoughts. Thoughts that we have that we use to tear ourselves down. We oftentimes mask these thoughts as, oh, well, I'm being real. And you know me, guys, I'm really big on self-awareness and accountability. I'm huge on self-awareness and accountability. And I'm big on it because I understand that in order for you to make growth and development, you need to be self-aware and accountable. I believe truly about setting a standard for yourself and meeting that standard. But so many of us have done it so poorly for so long that we don't understand what it is, and we believe that accountability is punishment, that accountability is tearing ourselves down, that accountability should be mean and nasty and vicious, and that's just not how it works. That's not how it's designed to work. So, how do we manage this? How do we work it? Well, we first have to understand if we have a purpose. In order, again, these thoughts have to start with our belief that the purpose is achievable, that the goal that we're setting is achievable. And then we start with discipline. I always say this. Do not believe discipline starts with consistency. It doesn't. Discipline starts with repetition. Discipline starts with just doing that thing. One of the ways we can be very destructive and very mean and destructive in our thoughts to ourselves is the thought that we should be somewhere that we have not yet earned the right to be. And then we start having these negative thoughts. Man, I'm not good enough to do this. Man, I can't do this like they can. Man, I don't know how to do this like they do. And we start to beat ourselves down, beat ourselves down, beat ourselves down. And so now we start beating ourselves down because we have negative thoughts about ourselves. Now the action, even when we take it, the action, it's not as powerful. Even when we sit down to do the work, it loses steam because it's no longer driven by belief. Thoughts matter because they impact you. So you have to mind your mind. You have to be careful of what you take in. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Whew. This is the tricky part. You start feeling bad about yourself. You start putting yourself down. You start self-loathing. You start to do this and you say, oh, well, I'm just being real. I'm in this difficult situation. I'm no good. I can't do it. I don't have it. And then the people around you who believe in you more than you believe in you come to support you. They come to say, no, you do have it. I understand it's challenging. Let's get up. Let's do it. Let's walk. You can do this. Let's get back on focus. Fix your thoughts. Stop thinking about the problem. Let's start thinking about the solution. Let's start taking actions that we know will lead us to a better place. Let's do these things, not because I'm saying let's do these things. Let's do these things because these are the things that you want to do. And I believe that you have the ability to do it. This is what starts to happen. But guess what? That's a reward, people, that feels good. And oftentimes, being supported and cheered for and engaged and motivated by others feels better than succeeding, because for so many people, they've never really felt true success. They've never really got to the completion of something to say, yo, I did that. I thought it. I spoke it. I believed it. I took actions. I made a decision that was confirmed by my behaviors. And here is the outcome that I knew from the beginning. And because I've achieved this outcome, I now know what it feels like to be disciplined. I now know what it feels like to be rewarded. I now know what it feels like to achieve. So many people don't do that. We walk through most of our life just arriving places without understanding the work that we're doing to get there. No one tells you in the beginning of school, no one continues to mark off. For most people, no one tells you the importance and what you're developing and the challenge of moving through school so that you can graduate. They don't tell you about it. And when they don't tell you about it, you end up completing school just as an afterthought. Just because, oh, well, I got there. Not as a focus of, hey, this is the result of thoughts, behaviors, and actions. You don't see it that way. And because you don't see it that way, you don't reap the benefits of having committed 12, 16 years to achieving something. You think the something is the goal. You think the college degree is the goal. You think that the high school diploma is the goal. And it's not. It's like the symptom of an illness. Your foot hurts because your bones are broke. So your foot's not hurting because you're walking. Your foot's not hurting because you have on a shoe. That's a symptom. But the issue is the broken bone. You're not graduating from high school and college because the diploma is the thing, because the skill is the thing. It's because you've put in work. You've developed discipline. You've developed an understanding of thinking something, doing something, and achieving something. And you need to understand that value because then it can translate to anything else in your life. It is the thoughts. You understand how thoughts are impactful in that way, but they are powerless without decisions and actions. But your decision and actions can't happen until you have the right mindset and produce the appropriate thoughts. Dude, it's insane. So how do we win? How do we grow? How do we achieve? How do we know when we have the right thoughts? How do we know when we have the right mindset? When our thoughts and our mindset starts to coincide with our purpose and they align with productivity and not just actions. When they align with achievements and not just doing. With motion, positive, tangible motion and growth and not just busyness. Ryan, welcome in. Good morning, my brother. This is important because if we don't mind our thoughts, it's easy for us to get caught up in distractions. And then when we get caught up in distractions, it's easy for us to move from distractions to just losing our purpose and just wandering. Falcon said humility is divinity. The earth is 4.3 billion years old. The universe is 13 billion. But just know that you are always loved no matter what. By you, most likely. By you, most definitely. Eric, welcome back, Eric. How are you doing, brother? Ryan, hope your weekend was full of greatness, King. Keep grinding. You do the same, Ryan. BN, welcome in, BN. I've lost 90 pounds since listening to you. Thanks. Dude, that's awesome, Eric. That goes back to the beginning of the year, doesn't it, Eric? Keep me updated, man. Keep me updated as to what's going on, the progress. So the thing is this, people, when we start talking about our thoughts, we start talking about minding our mind, we start talking about the results of behaviors and our thought process, first thing is we have to be careful of what we allow into our mind, right? First we have to understand that our senses are receptors and all of those things lead to our mind, right? They lead to our thoughts. And then we have to understand That the things that we let into our mind are the catalyst for our thoughts, which lead to the catalyst and the development of our beliefs, our actions, and our behaviors. When I say people put the cart in front of the horse, right? Oftentimes people don't decide to be a certain way. They just end up being a certain way. And then they say, well, that's not who I am. Well, your behaviors say otherwise. They say, oh, well, you know, like, I don't do that. Your behaviors say otherwise. It's very easy for people to think of themselves one way and actually be another way. It's very easy for us as humans to see ourselves in the way we want to see ourselves, in the way we believe we are, and not be that way. Both positive and negative. They're both wrong. We believe that we're doing more and we're capable of more than we are because we haven't gone through the process of acquiring the skill yet. And then the flip side is we don't believe we're capable and we can't do it because of where we are. And so we beat ourselves down. That we have to start. We have to start with the right place. We have to understand the differences of what these things are. And it starts with your mind. What are you consuming? What are you taking in? How is this impacting your behavior? How is it impacting your beliefs? How is it impacting your actions? In the sense of thinking and in the sense of behavior, understanding that our thoughts are very important, but at the same time meaningless, is a difficult place for the mind to register if you're thinking about it. But if you're doing it, it's not. We have to stop beating ourselves down. It's not just about having positive self-talk and just saying you could do something. Accountability requires, you cannot have accountability for something to which you have not set a standard or expectation. I cannot hold you accountable to not getting to work on time if I haven't given you the time to get to work. If I say, hey man, I'll see you tomorrow, and you show up at 4:30 in the afternoon, I'm like, dude, you're late. Like, well, you just told me to be here tomorrow. It's tomorrow and I'm here. Yeah, but work starts at 8. Yeah, you didn't tell me that. Man, don't be late anymore. Like I haven't been late before. I'm here on tomorrow. I can't set accountability for areas in which we have not set expectations. But we can't set expectations until we have an understanding of what it is we're trying to do, which is why repetition becomes first, because repetition is not about accountability. It's about learning the skill. I can't set an expectation on you not getting to work on time if you don't know how to get to work. I use my oldest son as an example quite often. My oldest son is 16. He knows a lot. That's dangerous because he's 16 and he's very intelligent. The danger is because he's 16 and he's intelligent, he believes he's 36 and he knows everything. 36-year-olds don't know everything either, but that's a whole other thing. So here's the thing. So here's the thing. His new job, he reaches out to a manager and says, hey, I'd like to pick up this shift. The manager reaches back out to him and says, listen, I don't work today. But I contacted the manager at the location. Manager says it's fine, you can come in. In the future, check the schedule to see who the manager is on duty so that you can talk to them about it. My son said, so he's gonna go to work. I'm like, cool. Quick, who's the manager on duty? My son's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, your manager just told you, look at the schedule, right? This is important, people. This is important. Manager told you, look at the schedule and see who the manager on duty is and contact them. Can you do that? No, there's no way to do it. Hold on, son. Your manager just told you that's what you need to do. Your manager just set an expectation. He just gave you guidance to prevent you from having this issue in the future and told you there is a way for you to take an action that does not result in you calling me on my day off at 6 o'clock in the morning about picking up a shift. There's a way for you to do it. Son, you're telling me there is no way. I'm telling you, your manager just set an expectation for you. To wit, he will hold you accountable at some point in the future. Even if it's not this thing, there are other things that when someone says something to you and they do not provide you with the necessary resources to get that done, then they can't have accountability. Guess what? You can't do that for yourself either. You can't say, I want to lose 50 pounds. Like Eric said, lost 90 pounds since the beginning of the year. You can't say that without first following the steps of discipline, which is just getting started. Listen, man, I'm not going to lose it all today. I'm not going to lose it all in February. It's going to take time, but I need to get started. What do? I need to get started. I need to work with repetition. No, they're not going to be perfect. No, the diet's not going to be perfect. No, I might miss a day or two, but I need to get started. The repetition is where it begins. I'm not being graded. I'm doing the work. I'm learning. I have to be patient. Consistency. Once we develop the skill and an understanding, your body will ask you, when you are repetitious in something, it will get to a point where your body will ask you, what are we doing and why are we doing it? And I need structure. I don't have a problem doing it. Listen, your body is on your side. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? This is when the thoughts start to kick in. I don't know. Just stop. Why are you getting up every morning and running? Why are you working out? Why are you denying yourself fat? Do you know how good sugar is? Have you tasted bacon? I believe you have, because I remember bacon. The thoughts, they start to ask for direction. Your body's on your side, but you have to understand where you're going. And so your thoughts, this is when you start doing this thinking. And if you don't have a purpose, if you cannot create a plan, if you cannot set expectations, you will fall off. Because you cannot hold yourself accountable for something that you do not set an expectation for. And this is when we start beating ourselves up. I'm not good enough. I don't know how to do it. I don't have the skill. Everybody else is better. I might as well give up. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Why does this even matter? This is when we start beating ourselves up and we think it's us being real. We think it's us holding ourselves accountable, and it's not. We have to be careful how we treat our mind, what we take in, and how we behave. Mr. Tahoe said, woo-hee, Eric. Shout out to Eric. Daniel said, are you having a morning walk, buddy? Yes, indeed. Thank you for being here, Daniel. Is that Imani? Hey, how are you? I'm doing great, Imani. Welcome in. Falcon said, Mike Tyson used to start running at 4 a.m. Right. I start walking at 4:30 a.m. But Mike Tyson had a purpose. He had a reason for his behaviors. Why are you running? Mike Tyson said it. He said, after one of his fights, I can't remember who it was that he fought, and he was like, they were like, man, how do you feel? He was like, yo, he said, I'm glad to be alive. He's like, y'all don't understand. That man could have killed me in there. There's a realization that people have when they go in a ring to fight, that why do you train so hard? Because I'm trying not to die. There's an aspect of, man, I would like to win, but do you understand when you go into something? Do you understand when the people in the military go to war, they do so with the realization that I might die out there? You have to protect your thoughts. Because if we don't protect our thoughts, they keep us from taking the appropriate actions to be who we need to be in the space we need to be in, specifically to ourselves. BN says sometimes our environment has a negative impact in our confidence. So the first step for me is to clean our environment in order to be able to think properly. Indeed, Falcon said, BN 100%. I need to do a good clean. But just remember, our ancestors lived in caves at one stage, and you can't vacuum the whole earth. You cannot. And this is what I mean. And this is what I mean when I say, right? When I say, prepare yourself for anything, but you don't have to prepare yourself for everything. We must be prepared for anything that's on our path, but we cannot prepare ourselves for everything. And so the things that are not a part of our preparation process, are not a part of our growth process, then we have to understand, hey, this thing is happening, but this thing can't take up too much of my attention because this thing is happening around me. It's not happening to me, right? See, our thoughts quite often, and I'm gonna show you an example of how you have to mind your thoughts. When we go out, for those of us who drive, when we go out and we get on the road, everybody out there is our enemy. Everybody out there is in our way. This idiot can't drive. I can't believe they cut me off. I don't understand. Most people on the road are not there to prevent you from getting to where you're going. Just because somebody does something that negatively impacts you in one way doesn't mean that it was intentional. Here's the flip side of that coin. Some people do. Some of the things that happen to you are intentional. Some people who cut you off do it intentionally. Some people are trying to keep you from getting to where you're going. The difference between anything and everything, and the response has to be the same. Anything that happens that gets in my way, I have to keep in mind I'm trying to get somewhere. That's what's important. I need to overcome this obstacle. I need to surpass this challenge. This thing has nothing to do with me. These people are over here driving crazy and he forced this car in front of me. This person's not attacking me, but my objective is still the same. I am trying to arrive safely to where I'm going. So no, when they pull over to the side of the road, I'm not pulling over to get in that fight. That's not my fight. That's not my journey. We must protect our mind. We must protect our thoughts, and we need to protect the way we think and talk to ourselves and about ourselves because we matter. And when we come to that realization that we matter, when we come to the understanding and the acceptance that there is value within ourselves, we can start to work with discipline, and then we can set accountability. And accountability sometimes can be hard. Accountability sometimes can sound difficult, but it's the truth. I had a talk before about the difference between critique and criticism. And critique and criticism is all about the delivery. The point may be true either way. The example I use is if you and your friends are going to work out and you miss 5 straight days and then you show up and someone says to you, hey man, listen, for the development that you're looking for the growth that we've committed to on our plan towards fitness, it requires us to be consistent. We've passed the repetition stage. We have a plan. Everyone's showing up on time. Everyone's doing the work. We're seeing growth. We want you to see that same growth. In order for you to see that same growth, you're going to have to commit time to come in to work out, or you won't see the development across your body the way everyone else does, and it may require for you to have to do modified workouts or not hit your goals or see your development at the same rate in which others are seeing it. This is what will happen. That's critique. That's someone giving you some feedback. Here's what criticism sounds like. Man, your weak ass ain't gonna never learn no bench presses with tiny ass arms. You can get blown off the bench. Shoot, Mike 10 pounds less than you and he lift 15 pounds more. What are those? What are those on your arm? You can't lift no weight with them. Right, criticism, guess what? They're both true. You ain't making it to the gym, you ain't developing. Everybody's developing faster than you. So when we're self-accountable, we have to figure out, is what we're holding ourselves accountable for true? Are we meeting the standards? I'm not talking about the words you use to talk to yourself. I'm talking about the standard you use in which to determine whether or not you should be having the conversation. True mark of criticism is criticism doesn't give value. Criticism doesn't add anything to what you're saying. Criticism has nowhere to go. If you say something to somebody and their response to you is more often than not silence, or they have to lift you up from you putting yourself down, then you're criticizing yourself. You're not critiquing yourself. And this comes from our thoughts. It comes from our environment. It comes from the way we view ourselves. But like I said earlier, people, oftentimes, because people have not really understood what they've achieved, when they achieve a pat on the back, that's the reward. That's the growth. That's the good feeling. And so now I don't really need to achieve anything. I need to achieve somebody making me feel good, because I haven't learned how to make me feel good. I haven't learned how to support myself, to encourage myself, to hold myself accountable and congratulate myself. I haven't learned how to do that for me. So I need other people to validate me. There's this funny episode of The Simpsons where I believe the teacher goes on strike. And the girl, the daughter starts to fall apart like she is sick. She goes in the room and she gave her mother, I think she gave her mother like a piece of paper, and she says, "What do you think?" And the mother's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Just grade it." She's like, "I need to be graded. I need somebody to give me an A." She was sick because she needed somebody to validate how good she was at what she did. She needed somebody to see that she was doing something and she was good at it, and she needed to be graded so she could see it. That became the reward. We have to be careful about how we think. We have to mind our thoughts. We have to be careful about how we see. We have to be careful about our environment. But more than anything, regardless of the environment you're in, you're there. I believe it's Falcon who said you can't sweep the earth. We can't sweep the whole earth. We have to prepare for anything, but not everything. You don't have to fight every battle. But you have to fight everyone that's on the path to where you're going. That's anything, not everything. It's important for us to understand that as receptors, we take a lot in. And quite often, in many people's lives, we turn that into negative thoughts about ourselves. This is why the saying, hurt people, because we take in hurt and then we feed out hurt. And then we take in hurt and we feed out hurt, which feeds more hurt. I've been guilty of it myself. I've been challenged with communications and showing love to myself and to my loved ones. And I have to take the time to sit down and stop and understand, what is my goal? What am I trying to achieve? And is this moving me towards it? If it's not, how do I eliminate these behaviors? We can hurt for others that will make us hurt ourselves and hurt them because of our thoughts, because of our mind, because of our place, because of our misunderstandings. We have to be considerate of it. The next thing we have to do, people, everything we've done to this point has been about removing. It's been about denying. It's been about protecting. We can't just be defensive with our thoughts. We can't just be defensive with our approach. We can't just be protective with our approach. We must also be progressive and attacking. So if we're trying not to take in negative thoughts, we're trying not to have negative views, we're trying to refrain from negative commentary and action, then we have to replace it with positive ones. We have to place it with reality. You have the ability. You have the opportunity. You have the time. You will get this done. Every step, every day, every moment that you're working on it. The beginning of this year, before Eric lost 90 pounds, Eric had to start. Eric was 90 pounds heavier at the beginning of the year. He didn't lose 90 pounds overnight. There were tough days. I don't even have to know his story to know what he went through, because we all know. Because we've all been somewhere and had to look back. Where was I 6 months ago? Where was I 9 months ago? What did I do to change that to here? Losing the 90 pounds is phenomenal, but the work that you put in to lose that 90 pounds, that's the real growth. That's the real development. Because if you put it in for your fitness, you can put it in for your family, your finances, your faith. You can apply it everywhere. This is important, people. It's super important because when we have thoughts, as I said before, need to lead to choices. Choices need to lead to decisions, is when we take action on the thing that we say we want to do. And then that has to be driven by a plan or a purpose that says, I'm going somewhere. Just the other day, I was driving home and I knew where I was trying to get to. I wasn't far from home, but I turned my phone off, so I didn't have my GPS. I missed one turn. I turned my phone back on. I was farther away from home. I was farther away from home than when I started. I had to start a whole new trip. We have to have a plan. We have to be able to follow the actions. And thoughts are important. Protect your mind. And then you have to mine it. You have to develop it. You have to grow it. You have to work on it. You have to understand that your thoughts aren't random. Your thoughts are linked to things. They develop your beliefs. They build your knowledge. They grow you. Or they hinder you from growth. Don't just give yourself positive superlatives because someone said you should. Don't just wake up and start saying, I'm great, I'm powerful, I'm strong. That's awesome for children. It's the repetition of children learning how to say positive things about themselves. If you didn't go through that, and now you're in a space where, hey man, I've identified that I have some negative self-thoughts. I have some negative views of myself, and they lead me to not responding correctly, or feeling down, or feeling anxious or filling me with fear and depression. They're keeping me from achieving the things that I say I believe I can achieve. How do I change those things? You have to start taking actions. The same thing that went into you, whether it was someone else's negative words, someone else's neglect, a society mishap, whatever the negatives were, you have to now counteract them with positivity. You have to learn to start doing things. That's why we start with repetition, because repetition is simply saying, hey, I want to get up and do workout every day. I want to get up and do something. I don't care. Take a walk. Do 10 squats. Do 10 push-ups. Walk in place for 15 minutes. Do high kicks. I don't care. Do something. But every day you get up and then you start to mark it off. Okay, man, I did my 10 minutes. If your heart rate is through the roof after you do 5 minutes of working out, right now that's your workout. If you go to do a dynamic warm-up, and that's as much as you can do, right now that's your workout. But do your workout. Do it every day. This is how we develop. This is how we grow. This is how we come to understand that we're taking steps. And it starts, as I said, with repetition. With repetition, we must have patience. With repetition and patience, we start to develop the ability to have a plan. Our body will ask for it. I know this skill that you're trying to perform now. I understand it. Why are we doing it? What is it working towards? You have to give it a why. Now you create a plan. Now the accountability comes in. But the accountability is simply to say, hey, you remember what we started doing with repetition? We already know we can do it. Now we just have to have a plan with it. We're not just doing push-ups for the sake of saying we're doing push-ups. We're doing 10, we're gonna do 3 sets. Because we have a plan, we're going somewhere, and it's still gonna take time. And then we persevere and we grow. We understand that it's difficult. We understand, hey, I missed yesterday. Why did I miss yesterday? I have to hold myself accountable. I missed yesterday because I decided I wanted to go hang out with my friends. All right, that's on you. That's cool. Listen, if you don't hit your mark, it's because you made a decision to go hang out with your friends. It's not because your friends don't support you. It's not because don't nobody care about you. Not saying it's a bad thing to go hang out with your friends. Hey, life is for living, not just for being alive. But if you miss your mark, if you miss the thing that you say you wanted to achieve, don't try to put it on somebody else. Be self-aware, be self-accountable, but don't be self-damaging. People, this morning's talk is a very simple one. We have to protect our mind. We have to understand the basis and the power of our thoughts. Guys, it is now 5:27 in the morning on the East Coast. Thank you so much for being here. As always, guys, when you drop in, let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. I know from experience the difficulty and the damage that negative thoughts can have on you. I know how it can be hindering and how it can be just devastating. And it can happen to a lot of people in a lot of places. The key is to make sure we're following the steps, people. Step 1 is we have to be understanding that we are impact our thought and our vision. Number 2, once we understand that, we have to monitor what things we allow in and how we approach them, how we filter them. 3, once we've come to these understandings, we need to then use them in a positive way for our own growth and development. to understand that our focus is to help ourselves continue to grow and achieve, and to not beat ourselves up with our thoughts, to not let that lead to us beating ourselves up with our actions. People, all of this is going to need to be happening and require for us to use positivity. It's going to need to happen with us replacing negative thoughts with positive thoughts, with us replacing negative behaviors with positive behaviors, with us understanding that the things that we're working on are relevant to us. We have to do it now. We have to make the changes. We have to understand how our thoughts are powerless without actions, and our actions do not take place unless we have the appropriate thoughts. We have to frame the mind, and we need to use discipline to do it. As I say, the channel is called BNV Finance Fixers because for so many people, it's about understanding and working on their finances. But it doesn't matter if you have all the information in the world, if you have negative thoughts, if you don't believe it's possible, if you think you're too old, if you don't believe that it can be done, and everything that you do, every approach that you make, every view that you take is one that is not supported by discipline and it has a negative outcome, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the discipline to follow through and understand the steps that it's not going to be fixed in the morning, it's not going to happen. This is why we need to be careful. Guys, I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to read some of these comments that are in the chat. I really appreciate you guys being here. What does BNV stand for? That's the company name, BirdNest Ventures. Thank you very much. You can see it's on there, guys. Legacy starts at home. This is my name. My name is Bird, spelt with a Y. Of course, birds have a nest. And so my family is within that nest. And then we have ventures. We have things that we do. We have things that we take action on. And so BirdNest Ventures is simply saying legacy starts at home. There is nothing that I am looking to share with the world that I'm not sharing within my own home. There are no actions that I'm purporting or sharing with the world that are not actions that we do not look to take and live by in my own home. The world can be very cruel at times, exactly, which is why we can't be cruel to ourselves. From Falcon. It looks like Killiam. Sir, could you kindly explain to me what does BNV stand for? I'm sorry it took so long for me to explain that, guys. That's BirdNest Ventures. BirdNest Ventures. RKS says owning the thought room. I like that, RKS. MG says, why are you talking about my beard, MG? You stopped in just to do that? Barbershop clippings? Killian said that's crazy. That was crazy. Falcon, we need to heal our brothers and sisters, not harm. We do. We do. We need to do that. We need to do that. It's difficult because accountability is a must in that process. Falcon, another, Mother Earth needs a lot of healing. Right. Starts at home. Bianca shared a Bible verse. Holy Spirit Spark says Jesus loves you all. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Falcon with the hearts, rainbow. No matter who you are, you have the ability to heal. You do. Guys, as always, thank you for being here. Again, BNV stands for BirdNest Ventures. Guys, if you haven't been to the page, please visit the page. Take a look in the description. You can see where you can go to the shop. You can get yourself some of this good old BNV apparel, from hoodies to hats to t-shirts and caps. It's all there. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you can find pinned in the chat, also in the comments, in the description on the page, a link to be able to contribute directly to the channel and its growth. Also, we're working on a studio build. You can also find that on the channel page. As I said before, we're working towards monetization. Once we're monetized, we're going to add another element to the channel, which is going to spend some time specifically talking about the finance fixes, not in a random way, not in general talk, but direct conversations with individuals about their current position and the direction they're looking to go in and how to achieve that. I want to appreciate everything that you guys have done and being here this morning. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you haven't dropped the thumbs up now, it would be awesome if you do so. Double tap, hit the little thumbs up on the page. However it works for you. Maybe it's over here on the side. Maybe one of the sides has it if it's on the computer. Hitting a like, I really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just a way of showing support. And as always, guys, remember, discipline has 4 pillars. The 4 pillars of discipline are going to start with repetition, which is just showing up. Patience, which is knowing it's not going to happen overnight. Consistency, which is bringing those 2 together and developing a plan. And perseverance, which is the thing that works on you. Everything else works on the thing you're working on. Perseverance is what helps you get through. All right? Okay, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, keep showing up, keep blowing up, keep growing up. Until next time, guys, take care. You have a great day and a great start to your week. God bless, guys.